No peace in Colombia. Voters have narrowly defeated an agreement with the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia. President Juan Manuel Santos had bet everything on yes winning. Now he's calling an emergency meeting with his ministers to discuss his government's next move. CCTV's Michelle Begay is joining us from Bogota and has been covering it all for us. Michelle, what's the mood after the vote?
Yes, Susan, we're just blocks away from the presidential palace where Santos was holding this emergency meeting and is now, any minute now, going to give a speech and address the nation. There's just a lot of uncertainty. We saw recently groups of people debating here in the Plaza Bolivar, where we are 2 blocks away from the presidential palace. A lot of students debating on why the no vote won, why the yes vote lost, why the peace agreement has been so opposed by so many people. And there's just a lot of uncertainty as to what's going to happen. The opposition says that this is an opportunity to renegotiate a peace deal, but we haven't heard from the FARC rebel group. We haven't heard from the government if they really want to sit back down and try to negotiate something else. We had heard earlier this week the head negotiator of the government saying that there wouldn't be any more peace negotiations, that this was the best agreement that they could come up with. So we're going to have to see what President Juan Manuel Santos decides tonight. The FARC is waiting to see what the president answers. And what we're hearing a lot right now, too, from the no voters, surprisingly, is that they are both surprised about the results. A lot of people said that they wanted to vote no to send a message that they didn't agree with the things that were in the accord, such as impunity for the FARC members. But they say that they always thought the yes vote was going to win, and they are surprised. So we're going to have to see what is said by President Santos to know exactly how this story develops.
Michelle, do you have any sense at all as to how the polls were so off?
It's hard to understand. We do know that about a month ago, the polls did show a very tight race. And all of a sudden, the last poll just five days ago turned completely the other way and said the yes vote was going to win. It's hard to know exactly how that happened. Maybe I heard a lot of people on the street saying that that after they saw these yes polls winning, the yes vote winning by so much, that they didn't necessarily want the yes vote to lose, but that they wanted to send a message to Santos that they didn't agree with everything and that they just wanted to leave their mark. And I think that that's why so many people are surprised by this no win. Maybe a lot of people went out to vote and say, I want to leave my mark. I want to say that I do want a peace process, a peace agreement here, but I want them to know that this is not how I envisioned it. And it ended up being that the no vote won by 50,000 votes. It was a very tight race, Susan.
Right, so we have to keep in mind that it was close. All right, so Santos is in this emergency meeting with the ministers. What do you expect to come out of this?
Well, what experts are saying right now is that we don't know if Santos is going to want to say, let's try to renegotiate and maybe bring in the opposition in a new a peace negotiation. Other experts are saying Santos is not going to want to bring in the opposition. We need to understand the opposition is led by former President Álvaro Uribe Vélez. He and Santos have had a very contentious relationship in the past 6 years. And so a lot of people don't think that Santos is going to want to bring Uribe into this peace negotiation. And then again, we also need to find out what how the FARC's going to react. Santos said many times during interviews that if the no vote won, there really wasn't a plan B. So it's still really up in the air to see what actually happens.
Michelle Begay, thank you for all of this, joining us live from Bogota. We appreciate your coverage all day long today.